Hello students, welcome back to Brain Power classes. In the previous parts, we understood global warming and its effects. Now let us understand climate change, its indicators and causes. So, climate change. If you discuss seasons with your elders, they may tell you that they have noticed changes in the intensity, duration of different seasons over the years. For example, we may observe changes in the arrival of monsoons, changes in the quantity and frequency of rainfall, changes in the seasons, changes in the flowering of plants, increase in the occurrence of floods and droughts. Similar changes in climate patterns are being observed at the global level too. So, this frequent changes in the patterns of climate at the global level is known as climate change. So, see, the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, regularly mentions such indicators in its reports. Now, let us understand these indicators one by one. So, first is increase in the number and intensity of floods. There has been an increase in the number of flash floods as well as the duration of floods. This can happen because of very high precipitation in a single day. Like for example, Mumbai in 2005 and Kedarnath in 2013. Flooding can also because of change weather conditions like cyclones, Chennai in 2015. Flooding can also occur because of changed weather conditions such as cyclones. Overall, many cities and regions have reported an increase in flooding activity. Urban areas have experienced more flash floods. Even coastal cities such as Venice are facing flooding problems. Second is increase in the intensity of droughts and cyclone. Now, global warming does not only increase rainfall and flooding, it can also increase the occurrence of drought. A study had shown that the percentage of Earth's land area experiencing serious drought has doubled since 1970s. Now, an interesting point is that both flooding and drought are related to the physical process of evaporation. As global warming heats the oceans, water molecules near the sea surface become more energetic. They therefore evaporate into the atmosphere more easily, and as a result, the amount of water vapor in the air increases, and this effect becomes stronger with every additional degree of warming. At this at the same time, the number of cyclones per year has increased in tropical regions and their intensity has also increased. So, climate change can be associated with both more intense drought, more intense rainfall and floods, stronger cyclones. Third point is carbon dioxide and crop yields. The graph you can see figure CO2 concentration ppm CO 5.2. So the graph shows increasing levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere in parts per million. So increasing level of carbon dioxide CO2 in the atmosphere is measured in parts per million ppm. Increasing CO2 in the atmosphere affects health, climate, agriculture, air pollution, global warming. So according to the WHO World Health Organization, more than 350 ppm of CO2 is harmful to the environment. However, it has also been observed that with more CO2 in the air, crop yield has increased in some situations. Because of warming, some areas with colder climates have also been brought under agriculture. In some places, the amount and continuity of rainfall has have increased. Now, this also affects crop yield. So, change in CO2 temperature and rainfall can influence agricultural production too. Fourth is rainforest and climate change. Rainforests play an important role in cooling the earth. In the moist tropics, the broad leaves of the rainforest canopy help to trap moisture. This moisture slowly evaporates and produces a natural air cooling effect. But when large areas of rainforest are cut down and burned, hotter and drier conditions develop. There is another major problem. When forests are burned, they release a huge amount of carbon dioxide into the surface. Now, large scale deforestation can also alter rainfall patterns, amount of precipitation. Therefore, rainforests play an important role in maintaining the climate. Now, what are the causes of the climate change? Human activities are considered a major cause of climate change, but climate change can also occur because of natural causes. Now, let's understand these natural causes. First is variations in the energy output of the sun. The amount of energy released by the sun is not always the same. When the sun's energy output is low, the amount of insolation received by the earth decreases. This can lead to cooling of the earth. So, lower solar energy, lower insolation, lower cooling of the earth. Second is Milankovitch oscillations. Another natural cause is known as Milankovitch oscillations. The earth revolves around the sun. There can be variations in the Earth's orbital characteristics around the Sun or the Earth's axial tilt. Scientists believe that these changes can alter the amount of insolation received from the Sun. This may affect the Earth's climate. These changes can cause the Earth to be closer to the Sun, it becomes warmer, or further from the Sun, it becomes colder. So, ice ages can occur when Earth is farther from the Sun. Third is volcanism. Volcanism is another natural cause of a climate change. During volcanic eruptions, large amounts of particulates and aerosols, especially sulfur dioxide, are released into the atmosphere. These aerosols can remain in the atmosphere for a considerable period of a time. Wind spread them around the world and they reduce the amount of a solar radiation reaching the Earth's surface. As a result, the Earth's temperature can decrease. It has been observed that the sum of the coldest years recorded during the past two centuries occurred in the year following a major volcanic eruptions. For example, after the Chicon eruption in 1982 and the Mount Pinatubo eruption in 1991, the average temperature of the earth fell to some extent for several years. Fourth is Goldilocks zone. Scientists believe that the earth lies in a habitable zone called the Goldilocks zone. So the earth experienced a cooler climate early in its history when it was located in outer reaches of this zone outer reaches of this zone. So at the size of the sun as the size of a sun increases, this zone also moves outward over time, and such changes in the position of this zone can cause earth to warm or cool. Now, what are the anthropogenic causes? Apart from these natural causes, we have already seen the anthropogenic effect, which means the effect of human activities on climate. The major sources of human generated CO2 emissions is fossil fuel combustion. Large scale deforestation also increase the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere. The atmosphere takes around 20 to 25 years to adjust to these high levels of CO2. Therefore, human beings and their activities are generally considered a major cause of a climate change. Now, in part 4, we will learn further about climate change happening for the first time and some tools for the studying climate change. Now, what we learned in this video in part 3, let's quickly revise. So, climate change is change in climate patterns over time. Major indicators like increase in number and intensity of floods, increase in intensity of droughts and cyclones, increasing CO2 and changes in crop yields, impact on rainforest. Natural causes variations in sun's energy output, Milankovitch oscillation, volcanism, changes related to the Goldilocks zone. Now, what are the major human causes? Fossil fuel combustion, large scale deforestation, increases CO2, and then change in climate change. And with this, we have understood the major indicators and causes of the climate change. Now, in part 4, we will learn further. Till then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep exploring with Brain Power classes.